This time, it's not about its economy or the political turmoil, but this time, Pakistan is facing the nature's wrath. Pakistan's government has declared a national emergency after devastating floods ravaged parts of the country. Over 1,000 deaths have been reported. Around 45 million people have been displaced. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif visited the southern Sindh region to examine the devastation. Pakistan is experiencing its worst floods since 2010. The army has been deployed to provide relief to the worst affected areas. Floods have impacted various regions like Hyderabad, Sukur and Jacobabad in the Sindh province. Meanwhile, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, Punjab and Balochistan regions are the worst affected, reporting more than half of the country's over 1,000 casualties. Our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik has sent us this walkthrough of the situation on ground in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. Take a look.
On the motorway from Islamabad towards Peshawar, very near to Jarsadda, you can see that livestock has been relocated from the city centers, and this is the main motorway. And if my camera person Umar can show you as well, beyond this, beyond the safety edge of the motorway is where we can see flood waters literally flooding in and inundating the neighborhood around. A lot of people have been forced to migrate. There are families, you can see these are makeshift arrangements that have been made. Ambulances lined up. There's a clean water facility that's there, and that's what the makeshift arrangement is. There are people who are donating as well. They're distributing, and most of this is being done on volunteer basis. Some is what is being done by the government as well, but the government by and large is helping people being relocated to safer spots. Anas Malik near Charsadda in Pakistan for WION World is One.
Meanwhile, officials say that Balochistan's regional capital Quetta has been cut off from the rest of the country indefinitely as highways and bridges have been swept away by the floodwaters. Large parts of Balochistan remain submerged.
आना शुरू कर दिया और मकान बना लिया, तो इनके अभी तकरीबन 8 साल हो गए, तो कोई भी काम नहीं हुआ इनका। इन्होंने ये दीवारें लगानी थी, ये मांदा बनाना था, पक्का करना थी, पक्की दीवारें लगानी थी, और बिजली देनी थी, गैस देनी थी, कोई काम भी नहीं किया। सिर्फ एक बिजली, वो भी इनके पीछे लग के 8 साल में जो है ना बिजली मिली।
The rising flood waters in Pakistan's Swat Valley caused a luxury hotel to collapse. Guests had been evacuated on the previous day because of severe waterlogging. No casualties were reported. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has asked for international help in battling deadly flood damage. The Prime Minister even conducted an aerial survey of the Sindh province on Friday. He announced free medical treatments and relief worth about $113 to each household affected by the floods. Sharif made the following statement after concluding his survey.
When the plane was landing just now, I looked down with great concentration. It looked like the angry waves of the river Indus had spread across the whole region. The flood of 2010 was a very huge flood in our history, but I feel this flood has caused much greater havoc. There is extreme devastation all around. More than 900 people have died.
In the Sindh province itself, the Provincial Disaster Agency has said around 2 million acres of cultivated crops has been wiped out in the province. It is important to understand that most of the farmers who live here are dependent on agriculture as a source of income.
ये हमारे फसल जो है कम से कम 3-4-5 हज़ार एकड़ ज़मीन है जिसमें चावल सुपर होते हैं जो आप भी खाते हो हम भी खाते हैं मतलब ये सारा हमारा खत्म हो गया।
Pakistan's Minister of Climate Change had announced on Thursday that a war room had been set up in Islamabad to lead relief efforts Residents of the city of Hyderabad in Sindh did not believe enough had been done to help them.
रात में घर से बाहर मोटर लगाना पड़ती है या डब्बों से बाहर फेंकना पड़ता है। ये हाल है और आपके सामने पूरा पानी पानी है, कोई कुछ नहीं, ये देखने भी नहीं आ रहा पानी है भाई।
And for more on this, we are being joined by Kasra from Islamabad. Kaswar is a senior journalist. Welcome to WION, Kaswar. We understand that, and we are reporting that over 1,000 people have died in this flooding situation in Pakistan. Maybe you can start by describing to our viewers how severe the situation is.
Well, you have rightly pointed out, Pakistan is facing a disaster, and it is, one of the greatest disaster Pakistan has faced in last 2 decades. And as you guys have reported, about 1,000 people have been killed, and millions of the houses have been razed to the ground, and connecting poles, infrastructure, each and everything has been destructed. And this is some sort of disaster in Pakistan, and I believe Pakistan is not capable of dealing with. That's why the Prime Minister of Pakistan and the Foreign Minister, they have reached out to the international community and seek their help to cope with the disaster. And it continues. As we have heard, the Foreign Minister of Pakistan's climate change, she has just dropped another bombshell that in a few weeks, Pakistan may experience another spell of the heavy rain as well. It means the more floods will be on the way, and the more destruction Pakistan will face. So this is what I can tell you. It's a disaster, and only the most important thing is Pakistan has only one department, that is the Pakistan Armed Forces, that are somehow capable of dealing with such type of the catastrophe, and civil defense and other institutions, they are not capable of dealing with it. We have National Disaster Management Authority, but that is ill-equipped. And I remember in 2010 when Pakistan has experienced this such type of the disaster. Then we had seen that Turkey and the United States, even India, offered help as well. But this time, the volume of this catastrophe is really huge, and the world community will have to come forward to help Pakistan to deal with this disaster.
Let's talk about this help, and you've actually mentioned it. The Pakistan government has asked for international assistance. Is there any sort of help being offered at the moment, even after the Prime Minister surveyed the affected regions?
Well, honestly, I did not hear any any country pledging their support, but definitely it's a huge disaster. And as I told you earlier, in 2010, the world community came forward to help Pakistan as well. But this time, the disaster, the national, the calamity is really huge. And I believe within a couple of days, the friendly countries and Muslim countries will come forward pledging their support as well. So this is what I can tell you. But as of at the moment, not a single country has pledged any amount, and definitely when they have not pledged any amount, the materialization of any sort of help will take time as well. But millions of people have been displaced, and it's really a huge disaster. And I'm telling you once again that Pakistan is not capable of dealing with such type of disaster alone. World community will have to listen. Even I heard Foreign Minister of Pakistan, they will be appealing to the United Nations in a couple of days as well. So I think it's the right time the world community will have to answer the Prime Minister of Pakistan's help as well. So they have appealed to the world community, and world community must answer their appeals as well.
All right. We'll have to end it there. I've been talking to senior journalist Kasra. Thank you very much for making time and for talking to WION today.
Thank you.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.